Just like Leah cannot trust Montel, I clearly cannot trust you guys when it comes to your opinions, because y'all were in my DMs talking about Queen, the reunion wasn't even worth it. Queen, don't waste your time reviewing it. It was so boring. I enjoyed it. I was having a grand old time. I don't know what y'all talking about. It was a good time for me. I still think they should have waited, but we know they're trying to get everything wrapped up real quick, so it's totally fine. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been out. I've been gallivanting, and shout out to the 3 girls who were subscribed and said hey to me on my gallivanting. It was nice seeing you. Hopefully I didn't show my ass. But before I get into this video, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I am going to be talking about the reunion and stuff that has happened since the reunion, splits, rumors, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just gonna talk about our sponsor, and then we're gonna get into the video. Before I continue on with the video, I wanted to pop in and first of all invite you to my kitchen and also let you know about Green Chef. If you've been following me on social media, you know that my health journey has definitely been a struggle, and a big culprit is how I eat. I've been exposed to a lot of exciting flavors and new ingredients that I may have never even tried without Green Chef. I've also been able to manage my weight better, eat more veggies, and really reach my wellness goals without skipping on the flavor. That is the best part. You can use my code in the description down below. It is QueenE50 for 50% off and free shipping. Just go to greenchef.com and enter code QueenE50. That's QUEENE50. I promise you, you will not regret it. Kickstart your healthy living and eat cleaner by using Green Chef. Thank you once again to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. All right, so first on the couch is Molly and Zach, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, the home visits, I wasn't really paying attention. I think I actually skipped most of them besides Whitney and Lockins. I did, however, notice that before the clip, Zach wasn't showing Molly physical affection, but then after the clip he was, and I'm not reading into it or anything, I just thought that was important to note.
Everyone knows who you are now. How has that been?
Strange.
Yeah.
But amazing, because everyone's been so lovely, everyone we've met has been so supportive, so it's a nice feeling.
Zach, it seems like you had a lovely welcome to the family there.
Yeah, I did.
Did you get nervous on your way down?
Very nervous, but it's an experience that it was incredible, to be honest.
But how are you guys going to make the distance work then? Because obviously Doncaster's not down the road from London.
Do you know what? It's not that far away. It's an hour and a half on train.
Okay.
Like, it's really easy, to be honest.
Did you imagine them getting to the villa? Getting to the final, sorry?
Well, when Molly got dumped, no, but then when she came back, yeah, I did, yeah. Because, yeah. You know, it's not nice when anyone gets dumped. Like, we all loved being in the villa. And I know we weren't the best of friends, but we did have some sort of understanding. And I was a bit like, oh, okay. Oh, my God, no,
Obviously,
of course.
seeing
But
you around, it would trigger, like, oh, that nerve that hurts. So
I
it
know.
was just one of those.
I just felt like I wasn't the problem, though. It was Zach. So to say that, I was a bit like...
So Zach is talking about, oh, well, you never know what's gonna happen between us, as if he did not ask this girl to be his girlfriend. Isn't that what happened at the finale? Because at first they were at first it was I love you. But then it was girlfriend, right? So I don't know why he's kind of being evasive with this whole, oh, you never know what's going to happen between us. It should be longevity. It should be relationship things. Like, I don't really know. That kind of confused me. Kady was invited onto the couch, and she felt like she was kind of hurt by Molly's words, saying that she was glad that Kady left. She thought that they had a friendship. Obviously, they do not. I think even if Molly and her had a friendship, the way that she has been throwing shade at them as a couple, or more specifically at, what's his name now? Zach, as Molly, that would be enough for me to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull back from you. You know what I mean? The passive aggression from these 2 women is so palpable. Like, listen, one thing I will give these women is the corporate kind of shade, the passive aggression, the smile in your face, but you know they're being nice, nasty. They got it down packed. These 2 women, they're really good at it. Sam talks to Scott, Catherine, and Elom. Now, as we know, Elom and Catherine have been on some podcasts. It has been kind of awkward between them because he clearly is focusing on himself, right? So in this conversation with the three of them, he kind of looks like a bump on the log because all of the attention is towards Scott and Catherine.
We're friends.
Yeah, we're just friends.
Yeah.
Straight into it, love it. When did that happen?
Quite early on, we kind of decided just it wouldn't work on the outside.
I'm sorry to do this to you, mate, but Scott, you and Catherine had a very good connection to the villa post-Castro, pre-Castro Moore. Is there anything lingering there now?
No, we talk like we're on good terms. Yeah, do you want to add?
Yeah, no, we're in a good place with it. Like, yeah, there's obviously we were friends before, before Catherine left the villa.
So when you say you're friends, though, is there anything? I know, obviously, look, it's a long old stretch coming out of the villa and stuff. But is there anything romantic, even possibly, on the cards at all? The eyes, we saw the eyes. We saw the eyes.
So, Elom, you know, a lot of us were saying love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. Whether or not that was true, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, I think he was in over his head on what this whole process entails and stuff. And so now that it's over, and we're going to talk about Catherine's interview later because she says that she's the one who actually ended it with Elom. I think that on his side, maybe he just didn't think it was going to be like that serious. Like, oh, we just play it cool, maybe explore the options or whatever. But it's like, nah, like you in this and it's very intense. Are you able to handle it? And in my opinion, I don't think that he was. So seeing things after the fact, I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that it's not a thing. A lot of us were struggling to believe his actions towards Catherine anyways. And clearly she was struggling to believe it too at some point. With Scott and Catherine, as of right now, I'd actually like it better if they were just friends for a while. If it develops into something that's cool, but because of everything that happened and how it happened and how their friends were in their ears and like jumping straight into something is kind of like, I don't know. However, that's what everybody wants, right? They've been putting up billboards in Times Square. They've been doing all these Love Island edits on TikTok. Like, it's been a lot. For them, if they're going to play into the fandom, I can't blame them. I can't blame them because y'all go crazy for this world, okay? But if they just say, listen, it's just better as friends, I'm cool with that too. Ella and Ty's section was annoyingly calm for me. Not that I wanted them to have a blowout, but in everybody else's section, they brought in the other connections that like Ty had or something like that, you know what I mean? They didn't talk to Ouzy for Ella and Ty. They didn't talk to the other Ella, Kady, who else was he feeling at the time? Leah. Like they didn't, like nothing. It was just, wow, look at you guys. You guys are just so in love.
When you come out and you get your phone back, it's like, raw, people really rocking with us.
Yeah.
I see them all, and nothing but love for everyone, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We love it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're a proper changed man now?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a changed man, you know. I feel like I'm flying. Trust me.
On cloud nine. Yeah.
We're getting so much love, but people keep saying, oh, they're not going to last because they keep arguing and stuff like that. But you know what it is? I feel like all our arguments mainly stem down to the fact that we're just on top of each other all the time.
Do you fully trust each other now you're outside of the villa?
Yeah, 100%. Fully trust him.
Come on.
He fully trusts me.
Yeah, like, I fully trust him, man.
Any moving in together? I know you said it could be on the cards.
Yeah, it's on the cards. It's definitely just need things to obviously slow down a little bit, get ourselves a bit sorted.
We just need time to start looking.
Ella and Ty both claim that the arguments was just a villa thing and that now they're on the outside, things are going to be a lot better, especially because they're not on top of each other as they were before. I do think that an element of that is true. And we can look at the pandemic. A lot of people who had been in either long or short-term relationships were finding it very hard to be with their partner 24/7. However, these two want to move in. Literally, Ty said that is our next step, moving in. So I'm just like, I mean, all the best to you. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the arguments. Couples do argue, but I feel like they're going to be arguing a lot more than regular couples. If it works for them, it works for them. As long as nobody's life is put in danger, then happy days. I still believe in my heart that this is a canon event for both of them. This is a canon relationship, but only time will tell. And honestly, I wish everybody well. That's one thing about me that you'll know with these shows. I watch them, I give my commentary, but at the end, I wish everyone the best. During Lochney and Whitney's home visit, I noticed that Whitney wasn't talking a lot, and I'm not sure what that's about, especially when they were sitting with Lochney's friends. I'm like, yeah, this girl, I don't know if they're just cutting out the parts where she's talking, but she's very like, I'm just gonna be measured about what I say. At the reunion itself, she was being a little bit shy, which we know she can be from time to time. Thank God she's at least with Lochney, who's okay with the giggles and the whatever, unlike Mehdi.
Back to normality-ish.
Yeah, it's great. I think we were all ready just to be back home with our families. Like, we all got what we wanted from Love Island, and yeah, it's been great just to be home, grounded, family and friends.
We're not really on our phones like that.
Really?
Yeah. We really read together, like.
Good. That's actually really healthy. You have plans for like the next week, month, yeah?
We're gonna be on our Zoom.
Yeah, I think just, yeah, what she said.
It's all good vibes though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
love?
On my side it is, yeah.
Yeah, wait. All love?
What? I don't care.
You don't care?
I cackled. Guys, I literally had to pause my video. I was sitting on my couch. I had to pause the video, go to the kitchen, get a creamsicle, because I was just like, there's no... She said, who is that man? I don't know him. I don't care. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I don't even know what Mehdi was talking about. We'll reconnect to the... Shh. Okay? Even if that was before a lock-in, he was chatting foolishness, okay? They did act cordially to each other at the rap party, I think it was. So it's not like there's any bitterness between them or anything. She really does mean it when she says, we're cool, but I don't really care. Mitch says that he is totally fine with being the king of mess. He says that he has no regrets. His only regret is the fact that he could have handled the Eloby and Abi situation a little bit better.
These two girls sat at this table right now. I could have handled this situation a lot more and obviously apologised to both of them.
In the villa, you are in a bubble. You let things get to your head, but yeah, we're better than ever, so.
I actually think that, personally, mine and Mitch's connection was stronger than his and Eloby's.
I just think that's screaming bitter to me, to be honest.
Which is my personal opinion, but now, all I'll say, after being gaslit by a gas engineer, I will never go back there.
Gas engineer?
But yeah, now I've got a few like blue ticks sliding them.
Oh, name them.
Your little brother.
Shut up.
Imagine being exclusive with a man who called you fake. Me personally, it couldn't be me. It could not be, and it can't be Abi either, because Abi, honey, Abi was on smoke today. I don't know who put a battery pack in her back, but she was on one. I liked it until she did the name drop of Jess's brother being in her DMs. I was like, now why would you say that? You could have just left it at the blue ticks, even though the blue tick thing was a little bit weird to me too, because it's like, oh, men of status want me. Like, girl, it's a blue tick. It's all right. Yeah, so I was like, I love that she was on smoke, but then she lost me at the end. Speaking of losing me at the end, Sammy and Jess were on the couch. And apparently in their little home visit, the friends and the family have been won over by Sammy. Great. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Oh, they are acknowledging that Sammy has grown. And even he himself, he's proud of the growth that he has done.
I'd only known Jess sort of 3-4 weeks when all the mess was going on. And yeah, I mean, for me, the whole time, I'll be real, it was Jess the whole time. I knew it was going to come further down the line. I thought, what's the point waiting? Let's prove it to her how much I do really care about her and how much I do know that it's going to work, so.
When you know, so yeah. I stood my ground and I got what I wanted, so.
I'm grateful to be part of the journey. Obviously, it's like a story. No, not in a bad way. Like, it's one to tell my grandkids. Do you know what I mean? And like, no, genuinely, cheers to Jess and Sammy. Honestly.
Listen, I do believe that there has been some character development for Sammy. 1000%. I do feel like there has been some character development for him in the villa. My only hope is that if things don't work out for these two on the outside, that it won't be due to things like him having to force attraction for her. I hope it's things that weren't an issue in the villa, because then it would be like, okay, but Jess, you saw the issue like the whole time. Like, what why did we even proceed with this relationship? It's that, and it's also there are times when he struggles to acknowledge Jess's feelings, and if he is feeling something, his feelings trump what she is feeling. So I hope that they work on that as well. I guess, see potential. I don't know. I don't know these people on a day-to-day life, so they could be married in a year. Who even knows? And we're gonna talk about that soon. But before the episode ended, Zach and Kady had a little bit of an exchange because, as we know, Kady has been on podcasts speaking her mind, and Zach took this opportunity to speak his mind.
It's very easy to see who's been saying what, and also I think who's been doing the most. Our name's in your mouth.
Zach, I get asked
Your name isn't in our mouth.
Ask the question.
And I wish you nothing but happiness and good health.
Kady, do you want to say a reply there?
Zach, enjoy your 15 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
I find it absolutely rich that Kady's gonna say to Zach, I hope you enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. Honey, you had to double back and get 30. You were on a season 8 years ago or something like that. And you came back to be relevant again. Like, you really want to call out people on getting their 15 minutes of fame? Like, okay, everybody says, oh, but she was so good at season 2. I don't know her from season 2. So it's irrelevant to me. To me, it seems like a has-been situation trying to come back and maybe revitalize her career a little bit. That's just my opinion. They touch a little bit on the whole Leah Montel situation. Essentially, things in the villa were just too much for her. She could not regain the trust that she had for Montel. Montel was trying to be evasive. I definitely feel like there's more to the story, but they're not going to get into it, so it is what it is. Now, moving on to things that have happened outside of the reunion, right? We have Sammy and Jess, who did... what is it now? Whatever, they spoke with OK Magazine. And when I was watching this video and then I read the article a little bit, I was thinking, why does Jess kind of look like a shell of herself?
Hi, OK. This is Sammy Root.
And Jess Harding.
And we're going to tell you some things that we wish we would have known before we went into the villa.
So the first one would be not to wear stiletto heels, just because the wooden slats in the floor, they do get cold.
I don't know if it was the nerves of being on OK Magazine or something. She looked really good, but she just kind of looked empty. You know, it looked like you had to be like, Jess, is everything okay? Like, are you good? I don't know. As the interview went on, it got a little bit better. She got more comfortable. She was laughing. She was touching Sammy and stuff like that. In the article with OK Magazine, they both shared that marriage is in the cards for them and that they would want to have twins. Great. That is great. Here, listen. There's this couple from Married at First Sight, Australia, where I was swearing up and down, this man hates her. He hates her. He's not attracted to her. He cannot stand her presence, all this kind of stuff. He doesn't want to be with her, blah, 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 whatever. They are one of the couples of that season. I think it was only 2, if not them being the only ones, who are actually married to this day. Because you know, the Australian version, it's not a legal marriage. And they actually have twins. So when these people are talking about they want to be married and have twins, it is not outside of the realm of possibility. It has happened for other people. It can happen for them. In the reunion, Maya had asked Ty if he was going to put out the official track for It's Giving Bad B, and he says stay tuned for that. He can't talk much, but as we know now, he actually has been in the studio, and Whitney has been there as well, and they're going to make the song a bop. Now, the fans aren't really feeling... Is it the beat that they're not feeling? I don't know, but they're not really happy right now.
So the Holly, fat bees come in all shapes and sizes. Mine one's 5 foot 7 and stylish. Drop me the Addy, everything covered on the Amex of the Holly.
Period.
Come in all shapes and sizes. Mine one's 5 foot 7 and stylish.
So some people in the comments were saying the beat is trash. Some people were saying it's a joke. We don't actually like the song like that. I like the song. I don't know what they were talking about. I actually like the song. I would like it on my Spotify, please and thank you. So yeah, we'll see where it goes for them. Other Islanders have had a music career outside of Love Island. Now, do I see them having a music career? No. But you never know, especially for Ty. I could see Ty being with the sideman. I could see Ty working for like Foot Asylum and them. He just seems like a person who would plug in very well with that group of people. Philly, Chunks, Harry, Darkest, like all those guys. Yeah, so rap career, maybe not, but YouTube, Mandem, yes. So Messy Mitch has been on a podcast. I forget the name of the podcast, but on that podcast, he was exposing Kady for having a boyfriend, allegedly. Kady has spoken out and she has said, first of all, don't have a boyfriend. And furthermore, she and Ouzy are no longer together. And so some people were saying, well, obviously they're not together because she got a man. She said, no, we're actually not together because of Ouzy. So I'm going to read what they had posted on Instagram. Hopefully I read them in order. Okay, so Kady posted, the narrative that is circulating that I have a boyfriend whilst in the Love Island villa is categorically false. My mom stayed at mine whilst I was in the villa to look after my dog and house. The media has been relentless with the narrative, and it now appears others want to jump on the bandwagon too. She's talking about Mitch. Speaking opinions is one thing, but making such bold statements with confidence is wrong. Not only are they false, they can be very damaging. Now, it's not that I don't agree with her. I do agree. But my thing is, she wasn't just giving opinions. She was saying things about people's character that were just as detrimental to them. So when it's done to her, she has an issue. But when she was talking about Scott, Mitch, Whitney, Lock-In, like, where was the, where was the, oh no, what I'm going to say could be detrimental. Let me not say that strongly and it could be false. So yeah, but she clears it up. She does not have a man. Then she goes on to say, although I have raised this before, I feel I need to address this one more time before I can finally put this to bed. I've always been clear that my views are my opinions of my time in the villa, how I saw relationships, read situations, and contestants' behavior. During interviews since leaving the villa, I have answered questions asked to me. Please remember, interviews can be edited just like a TV show to draw in viewers with clickbait snippets of much longer conversations. I have apologized to those that have been upset to hear my opinions, as this was never my intention, but since I have felt deliberately targeted by some of my fellow Islanders, I've also, I can't read her writing. Her opinions are her opinions. That's what she's trying to say. She then said something happened on July 30th or 31st or something. We don't really know what happened. But Ouzy then said, just wanted to say what's happened with me and Kady has nothing to do with her or any false rumors that have been flying about. It's because of my actions that things have ended, not Kady's. And I have apologized to her already. She's an amazing girl with an amazing family and doesn't deserve any of the negative messages she has received this morning. I don't think anybody deserves any negative messages, honestly. Even when people DM me, I'm like, oh, you're ready to get cussed out because what are you doing in my DMs? I feel like social commentary on YouTube is one thing, but to actually go to somebody's personal page, like I would never go to Montel's page and tell him how I feel about him. Like, why? What's the point of that? Like, let's just talk about the TV show and leave it there, you know? So they have broken up. The rumors are that he has cheated. Nobody has come out and said like, yes, absolutely, he has cheated. However, somebody did say he was with my friend. So yeah, it's a little bit ambiguous. We don't really know. We just know that things are over between them. So on to Catherine's interview with the Shiikane pod. I won't be posting the interview, obviously. You guys should go over to the Shiikane pod on podcast, but Shiikane TV on YouTube. So in the podcast, she says that Ty had actually warned her about Zach before that challenge where he moved over to Mali. And he was essentially saying, I've heard some things and I think that you should explore your options.
You're saying that it was more of a protection thing.
Yeah, so basically, so before the challenge, before we actually knew the challenge was going on, I asked Ty, and he said, look, to be honest with you, if I were you, I would just go and explore, like, be more open with Andre, explore Andre more, because Zach has been saying some things to the boys. Like, he wouldn't say what.
Do you know what?
Like,
we have to give Ty his kudos.
So that's
for
why,
that
you know,
then.
when it came to the fire pit, but like, I got very upset with him because it's like every single occasion you have actually warned me, or you have kind of pulled me, and I've acted on it without, like, you know, making it obvious that you've told me, like, you could have did the same thing then, kind of thing. But anyways.
It does kind of make sense why Ty had then just continued to speak up anytime he thought that there was an issue with Catherine and her potential partner. I feel like it was OD at some points. He was doing a lot, but she did confirm that, like, he would always be looking out for me. And so when Scott had his confrontation with everybody at the fire pit, she was like, but Ty, you should have told me, because you always tell me, you know? And she does say he does look out for her. So it wasn't him being a hater, or it wasn't him trying to sabotage her game. He was genuinely looking out for her as a friend, right? She goes on to say that she never questioned Whitney's intentions, but there were some other people where, you know, it would just be questionable.
Molly and Jess. Ella told her to shush. Yeah, so Ella told Whitney to shush. So from our perspective, it kind of looked like, I don't know, it kind of looked like Ella was allowing Jess and Molly to influence who was going to stay.
Which probably was the case. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel with this whole situation, like, I always knew, like, me and Whitney always, like, you know, had each other kind of thing. It was never a question. But with everyone else, even though we're all close, you know, there always is a question kind of thing. Honestly, I did not think Andre was going to go that night because Zach and Molly, they had one kiss, or it wasn't deep. Do you know what I mean? And, like, Mitch was still for her. So I honestly thought, oh, maybe, I don't know.
Now, the internet has taken this little clip here and ran with it. The Tyrella fans, the Ella stans are like, she's shading Ella. How could she talk about Ella like that? Obviously, her and Ella aren't real friends. Ella deserves better. Ella needs to, what did somebody say on TikTok? Ella needs to keep Catherine and Whitney at arm's length. I'm just like, how did we get there? Me, when I listened to this part of the interview, I was just like, there's a person who she gravitated to the most, and she just never questioned them at all. She said that when she first met Ella, Ella was looking through her, so she felt like, maybe we're not going to get along. But then the next day, Ella was like, I completely blacked out. I don't even know what was going on the first day because it was sensory overload. I don't think she was shading Ella. I don't even think she was trying to shade anybody. I just think it was a situation of being two Nigerian dark-skinned Black girls, being on a show where you know what the optics can look like from time to time. They do have a unique experience that they could share together. Now, is Ella also Nigerian? Yes, but her phenotype, archetype, all that types is different. So therefore, whether we want to admit it or not, the experience can also be different. I think that is a part of why Whitney and Catherine really connected. And they said they helped keep each other in check, just being like, hey, don't let this get to you. Hey, don't lose yourself. We are on TV. We need to present ourselves a certain way. So the Ella stans, relax. I don't think it was shade. She then goes on to say, if Scott had the option to pick Leah, he likely wouldn't have pursued Catherine.
Ty went on a date with Ella, Nigella, right? And I think on their date, Ty said something to her like he likes her or something. He was exclusive. He said something like that, and then the way they edited it, they made it look like when Ty came back was telling everybody, "Oh, this is what happens." Okay. Then Scott was like, "Let's go to the terrace."
Yeah, and that's how it looked to the boys as well, because obviously where he's gone from I want to be all about you to actually I want to get to know Leah. Then the next day was the date, and then you want to be closed off. Everyone was like, how'd you go from saying there's something in your head, there's something in your heart that wants to get to explore Leah, and that you'd be lying to yourself, you wouldn't live your true experience if you didn't, to that. So that was the whole Leah situation confusing. Obviously, I don't know the conversations had with Leah, but he's obviously kept it quite open with Leah. Leah said that, you know, he was about to kiss her. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. So obviously in my head during that time was really scrambled. Like, I was very like, I wasn't feeling like myself. I was feeling like very like second choice. I was feeling like, you know, like if Leah, I honestly thought like, okay, if Leah reciprocated, because at the time Montal had come in, so my thing was maybe he heard from the boys about Montel, and that's why he's now come back to me and said, I'm going to close things off.
As we know, that one recoupling where Scott was still in between the two girls, they left Scott to pick last, and Catherine was the last option. So it was kind of like you have to go with the only option there. However, if Leah would have reciprocated more energy, I do think that he would have been for Leah. And that was part of my skepticism when it came to him just saying, like, I don't like that he's in two minds. I would like for him to make it clear who he wants. And then obviously for everybody, Casa is the test, right? So he did make it clear, but then we didn't finish through to the Casa part of things. So I hear her on that. The Islanders would scatter. This part actually hurt me. She said the Islanders would scatter every time that Scott and Catherine would try to be around them.
People just didn't care. I remember even coming up for Casa, I literally had to beg people to listen to me. Like, can we discuss me and Scott? Like, but no one cared. Like, no one actually cared. Like, let's be real. Like, no one cared. And like, even prior to Casa, it was just a very uncomfortable situation for me and Scott. Like, I remember, obviously, I love Leah Montel now, but like, it'd be situations like, you know, after the cheers or so, Leah Montel, where I think this was one situation, they were at the day beds, and me and Scott, obviously just two days, me and Scott walk over to day beds, obviously sit and talk, and then as soon as we got there, they get up and leave. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Like, we were very uncomfortable.
Catherine says that, yes, the public support is a little bit overwhelming. However, she does appreciate that they do support her so much, because in the villa, she didn't get that same support. She constantly had people in her ear telling her that Scott wasn't genuine, Scott was going to turn his head, she should explore her options, and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So now being on the outside, having less pressure of the show and the eyes and the opinions, and also knowing that the public does, even though y'all did a 180, a lot of y'all, the public does support their relationship. She's interested to see how things would go in a natural setting. Skimming through the last bits here, she says that Elom would recycle conversations with her, but she gave him grace because she just thought he was being anxious. She also spoke about love languages, which I had suspected. He was speaking to a love language that Scott just wasn't at the time. And so she gravitated towards Elom because they connected in that way that she didn't connect with Scott. After she came out, she didn't eat for about 3 days or something like that. And trolls would actually attack her family to get at her because she just wasn't responding to them anymore. She does say that the conversation she had with Whitney and Sammy about Scott's attraction to her was perceived to her and Whitney as a microaggression, but she was giving Sammy some grace.
Even when he came in, he wasn't looking at me and Whitney. Like, let's be real. Like, he was not looking at me and Whitney. So we weren't, like, we're already like, ugh, like.
Yeah. So was it unspoken then? Was it an unspoken thing? Or were you guys direct with him and they just didn't show it? Like, did you blatantly think that he's saying it because he's thinking, how can a white guy be attracted to a black woman? Or did you think it was...
Me and Whitney discussed it.
Okay.
Because whatever, but even when we discussed it, it was a thing of, you might not know if that's what he meant, and we were kind of like
you didn't want to assume.
Yeah, and give him. And at the end of the day, I get it as well, because we had to still live in the house with him, so we had to come to some compromise, or I had to hear his apology, even though, you know, like, again, I grew after a while to, you know, when Sammy started opening himself more and like whatever, because again, he was really new as well to the house at the time. Yeah, he was very new to the house at the time, so maybe, you know, he just was still in his ways kind of thing, instead of just being that bit open.
1000%. As a person who looks like me or them, we knew what that conversation was about, even though it wasn't explicitly said. So, you know, it's commendable that they wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe he didn't mean it in that way. But just considering everything we know in context and how Sammy just talks to people, I do think a part of it was him just not being able to fathom Scott's attraction for Catherine and Meddy's attraction for Whitney. Truly. You can have your different opinion. That's how I feel. That's how she says she felt. But she also does commend Sammy's growth, that he has become a little bit more cultured in experiencing different cultures. And yeah, okay. I do think he's grown. Let me not talk about Sammy Child, not too much. And then lastly, Catherine shuts down any options of getting back with any of the guys she was partnered with besides Scott.
Richie is lovely. She's literally like so lovely.
So are her and Andre dating?
I don't think so. I think they're just friends.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Would
again,
you date
I don't
them?
know. No. I think friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely friends. Like, we have spoken, whatever, but
What about
friendship.
Montel?
Montel friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Scott? we'll get onto that one. So how long did it take you to dump Elom before you when you came out of the house?
Honestly, it was really, again, from that bombshell comment, I get turned off by things really quickly. And yeah, it was just like comments and stuff that was made that just made me think like, no, do you know what I mean? Like, this won't work. Oh, I'd say something stupid and I apologize. Like, I'm not here to control. Like, how do you not know how to not know what to say? Like, at your big age, like, it was just very,
very immature. It felt like he's constantly trying to get a reaction out of you, and it's just
like again, and then I kind of I was the one to kind of say like, let's be friends, like, because it's just I didn't see long term. If I don't see long term in something, I don't waste my time.
Listen, like I said, if it goes from friendship to relationship after taking like some good time, I'm with it. But I'm just like, it might, like, because they're both like, oh, the damage is done, it's done. I don't, I would want them to sift through, and I feel like they have, because they seem to be interacting a lot. Just sift through like where things went wrong. Yes, people were in their ears, but they had their own issues even without the outside opinions, So if they end up working out, honestly, I would ship it. And then if they don't end up working out, it looks like they developed a good friendship both in and outside the villa anyways. So wishing them all the best. I think that is all. If anything else happens that's worth talking about, I might give you an update. But y'all know when the season's done, it's done for me. So no DMs. No bat signals about, hey, you need to talk about this. The show is over. I'm over it, okay? As always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Apparently, there's going to be All Stars. Will I review it? Most likely.